Alright, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the ESOC Weekend Pilgrimage. This game was one of my highlights from the tournament, one of my favorites, and a lot of what we saw in this event was Iroquois mirrors. Very fast age-ups, units, in your face, go, 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 win by minute 4, but this, as you can see by the length of the video, this was definitely another change of pace. This was the sort of thing I was imagining when we decided to do this format. You know, I was thinking, how can we make really long, really crazy, really insane, interesting games? I know, we'll start the players off with 25 additional villagers. Most of the time, we got something very different. But this was quite a dynamic game where at points it seemed like one player was in the lead, and then moments later the other player was. Do give it a watch. I think it'll be worth it. Enjoy the video.
And India again for Sompu.
Yeah, going to stick with India. Be interesting to see if he's in a bit more of a hurry this time to get up to the colonial age. Maybe he'll put a few more villages on that Agra fort. Obviously, Sioux aren't quite as aggressive as the Iroquois, but they still do age fast, and they still can be quite frightening. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the third and final game, indeed, in this best-of-3 series, the score clearly being 1-1. We'll be back to Great Basin. We saw this in the earlier rounds of the tournament, and this is like one of the more aggressive sort of pilgrim starts, because as you can see, this is roughly where the pilgrims will be spawning, but the only hunt nearby is this one, and they'll both want to go for it. At this high level, I think we'll both see them go for that, because obviously age time is so important, whereas earlier in the tournament, perhaps people that weren't so focused on getting up to the next stage might go wandering. But I think we could see a bit of a pilgrim fight. They might fight each other. Looks like, though, Sompu going to split the difference and go off in 2 separate directions there. But that does give the advantage straight to... oh, pardon me, it's hard to know which team they're on, but Turk was actually the splitting there. Sompu going to get on those hunts right away, but Turk does find some food here, but he's going to be up slightly slower. But I don't think Turk really minds that much, because he does have that sort of age-fast option. And as a result,
he sooner than Sompu. I'll tell you that for free.
He is able, I think, to spend a bit of time finding these hunts and doesn't want to risk losing some villagers, perhaps, as a result.
Do I resign now?
Yes, I think so.
GG, you have bested me. Sompu, Konku, and Turk came as a shock to us all. But yeah, Sompu's up actually straight away.
I think you might lag the game by looking at it though in a resigned state. Just because just go to the graphs and that won't be the case. We'll see if the players say anything, but it seems fine at the moment.
If there's a problem, they'll let us know, hopefully.
So to refresh the graphs, you'll have to...
map, then go back. Yeah, got it.
All good. Sompu going up to the next stage as India. He's gotten the Agra fort down, and this time he is much more focused on getting up quickly. He's put 8 villagers on that Agra fort, so he's going to be up as fast as he can, because, of course, the Sioux fast age is very frightening. In transition, though, Turk going to place down a market, and that seems good, as we've been saying. You start with so many villagers, those upgrades, hunting dogs in particular, very cheap, but going to be very, very valuable. Walls coming down from Sompu. Going to start to fortify this area. We've seen this been very effective in previous games. It slows your opponent down just enough that as India... you need that bit of extra time, because you have to start with the 600 wood shipment to get those houses down, etc., etc. So that's what the walls will do. Although the Agra fort's still exposed on the top side here, but there are trees in the way, so maybe that's okay, and indeed the natural sort of cliffs as well there. But we'll be seeing their first shipments sort of very shortly. Let's switch on over to units in queue. In fact, we'll be seeing units now.
Units now. Let's go. Yeah, very quick units, obviously, for Turk there. And the walls from Sompu do seem to be, sort of common theme for the Indian players. We saw Daniela doing it earlier, for example, as well. And it does work to stall them out a little bit, but it doesn't change the fact that they do have units out so quickly. Still, looks like Sompu does have a number of sepoy out, and will at least have something already.
4 Axe Riders from Turk, though, as his first shipment, and I like this as the Sioux Axe Riders are quite a strong unit, so this is, it's kind of like a 4 Huss shipment in a way, except they're slightly better at raiding than Hussars because of their higher base damage and I suppose lower hit points, but a very powerful shipment, and often going to see that. But are running straight into the Sepoy, which is obviously not ideal. So
No.
does
not
get
actually.
away, has a lot of speed,
Yeah,
but losing some
that's
hit
the
points.
advantage, right? Like, he has the Explorer with him, and since he doesn't care about hunting treasures, just stick the Explorer with your early cav and go tearing around the map.
My screen can barely keep up, panning with how fast they're moving. But yeah, looking for villagers, wants to get a bit of damage done with these four.
Oh, wow,
Sentries
nearly got snared.
does get the catch there with the sentries. I wonder if that was an overreaction, though, because he is just going to escape. And
Right.
obviously these will go down to 1 HP, and that's all a bit sad. But meanwhile, has been massing Citan Bow, and with that 7 War Club shipment, feels comfortable enough to start moving out. He knows his opponent's Sepoy are down on the bottom here, and he's done a good job of like luring them to the bottom of the map, away from where the rest of his units are. But Citan Bow not particularly good at sieging, so that aggro fort going to hold them at bay. In the wall, he's going to try and take that down. It's, I suppose, buying time. They're busy doing something, at least.
They're buying time, but like it's interesting, really, because
At least they're not
you walk
sieging this
around
house,
the
right?
wall, right? Like, you just go around. It's so
Yeah.
easy.
But
It's a wide open hole.
If this wall weren't here, maybe they'd have come down, forced these villagers off, and this
Oh,
house.
maybe.
Whereas the aggro fort, kind of, you can't, because you'd have to walk all the way past it and stuff
Yeah,
like
true,
that.
true.
But yeah, it's they seem expensive, but maybe it is buying a little bit of advantage.
Yeah, for sure. And it's definitely giving him time to get units out for Soar now being shipped. And trying to keep up, really, with Turk in terms of military. And he's doing all right. But Turk's coming in for round 2, looking for more raiding potential. Going to be met with more walls.
That's right.
And more walls going to continue to go up, actually. It looks like Sumpu's inclined to
Looks
wall
like
the
he's
entire
patched
map.
it. It's like a really obvious like kind of repair job, isn't it?
Sticks out like a sore thumb. But that'll go down about as quickly as it went up, to be honest. And whoa, there we go. Finding a villager there.
Yeah.
Denying the walls.
Sentry's very low on HP, so those Axe Riders going to clean them up quickly. But just standing there, he's going to lose them to the TC fire, which is not ideal. Now starts to move away. But I think at this point, especially with the 4 Camel shipment and the Minutemen popping from the Otto Consulate, we do see Sompu in quite a good spot. I think the Sawa now on top of those Citan Bow. The War Clubs, they are in the fight there, so they're going to do well against them. But you see the Sepoy and the Minutemen going to focus them down. But maybe that's fine, because now it's just Citan Bow, which are very strong against infantry versus just infantry.
Yeah, and those Minutemen actually doing quite well. They got quite a lot of kills there for free, but now they've been used up, and that's that. So not too bad for either player, really. Sort of quite an even trade, it feels. Both of them content to just go back. Right now, I can tell you from the stats on the post game that they have both got pretty much identical resources gathered, so economically they are neck and neck.
It looks like India slightly ahead,
Yeah.
and that I think is down to having imperial bureaucracy and actually all of the upgrades again. Sompu does not slack on the upgrades. He's got the 2nd tier hunting and gold upgrade. He's even got spirit medicine, Eastern medicine in. So very tanky HP on his villagers, whereas obviously Turk playing as a native civilization, he can only maxes out at hunting dogs and placer mines. Although
He doesn't have many. Does he have TPs down at the front? Maybe he has them at the front with the. Yeah, he has them there. Okay, but that's like for his military rather than his eco, isn't it?
Yeah, and it's also going to make Cav, like you pointed this out earlier, this is a really, they can jam all his Citan Bows in there, and the Cav will have a hard time getting involved.
Yeah,
and these
true.
are quite cheap. And yeah, that's just this for his military, right? But he has the only thing he's got lumber ceremony, which is like a 2nd tier wood upgrade. So he's got good wood gathering, but ultimately India is just going to outscale just simply off upgrades here. So it is down to I Am Turk to get a nice early advantage, and wasn't able to do that with his Age Fast option. Is now, by the looks of it, going to send 700 gold. We'll see what that's for.
Press the wrong button.
They are worded a bit confusingly. I remember this.
Fine.
This was a problem a while ago when we only casted from graphs, but never mind.
It's okay. My bad.
This is looking to be quite an even game, and I really like what Sompu's done with the walls. He's closed off the whole map. There won't be any sneaky Sioux raids coming in. He'll know wherever and whenever the Sioux player is, and that just means his villagers will be safe. And because they've got all these upgrades, they won't be dying, and he'll be able to get ahead. Even sending, look, Zach, Pioneers on top of Eastern Medicine. These are some tanky vills.
300 HP.
400 on the Pilgrims, 300 on the ordinary ones. That's insane.
It's just they actually have the same stats. Yeah, like apart from the the HP. They have all the same stats.
Yeah, and they even gather exports somehow, so...
0.03 per second. Whoa.
Did you know that the Pilgrims know how to dance at the fire pit as well?
I did know that.
They're quite good at it. They're quite groovy. They know what they're doing.
They move and shake, I tell you.
Here we go, though.
Turk coming down with a big mass now. And boy, he has got a lot of military, looking at the graph.
Yeah. Turk, though, taking a different route. He's gone with Cav Combat. He sent 700 gold. And both of those things allow him to mass more units. And the Cav upgrade obviously is going to... there's a fight in the top here. Tiger Claws coming to shut down this war hut that's going up on these resources. Obviously, Turk wants the goats and the deer here nearby, and also, of course, this coin mine. The Tiger Claws, though, are going to be frightened away by the bow riders, but that will go up. So the difference is Turk's focusing on something now. He needs the 700 gold to mass. He needs the hand cavalry hit points to get ahead in a fight that's going to happen soon. Whereas Sompu's like, right, I'm going to send pioneers, and I'm going to have really tanky villagers, which I could use in a fight, but really I just don't want them dying because I've got better upgrades than you, way better upgrades than you, and wants to win the long game.
You say that they're really tanky, and yeah, sure, they are. But how many Seton bows does he have? Like, they're still going to one-shot a villager, no matter how many upgrades you have, right?
Yeah,
like, does it really make a difference? At the end of the day, if you come into contact with your enemy, you're still going to lose them.
Yeah,
so,
if the whole mass comes,
yeah.
that's for sure. But let's imagine a fight where you chuck in, 10 vills.
Right,
that I think does
that
help.
swings it.
So I think, yeah, but obviously in individual raids when your whole army's there, probably not. But it does make like the bow rider raids, the smaller raids, perhaps less effective.
Yeah.
But yeah, it is concerning because the villager HP is not. It's not anything like tangible. It's this it's an intangible, isn't it? It's hard to know really what that's adding in terms of score because it doesn't count for any. But a fight is going to get underway. Yurumi do pop, and will be coming out straight into the mass there, whilst behind this, the Sepoy just firing off volleys into the Setambo. Turk realizes this. He needs to get the Setam back. They've got relatively low hit points. They're quite good at range, or they're quite good when there's a tank line in front of them. But against raw Sepoy, just Sepoy, no sauce. They will go down quite quickly. And as you can see, that's kind of what's happened. He's lost a lot of the Setambo. Although, still, Setambo very strong against disciplines, against the Sepoy. They do have multipliers against them. So it's worked out okay, especially with the attack dance. Maybe we'll see a few Pilgrims dancing. We do.
Yeah, it's very strong for Turk right there. He cleaned up that army very nicely. And it's now very much Sompu on the back foot. Has got some more Sepoy, but it's really just a candle to the wind at the moment because Turk has so many more units there ready to absolutely tear it apart. But there's the ceasefire. I don't know if that's really going to achieve much at all, other than buying him a little bit of time.
Yeah, a bit of time to get that shipment out and possibly a batch of units from this barracks as well. A batch of units certainly from the... So it didn't... It worked out a little bit, but I have seen more effective ceasefires, right?
Yeah. But maybe it was necessary, right? Like if he didn't cease fire, he would have lost more. But he's still going to lose some villas here. And at the same time, gotta say, Turk doing an anti-sort of momentum shipment, 15 bison coming in. It's not, a military shipment or something big like that. So...
Yeah,
it's still looking good for Turk, but
apparently he attacked the treasure by mistake there. Yeah, I think India just consume hunts less quickly because their villages don't cost food, right? So there's a lot of hunts still over here for Sompu to get. It's all that he has available to him. But because you start with so many villagers, the hunts get used up a lot quicker. And here's their pioneers coming into effect. One villager does go down, but maybe it'll be fewer than usual as a result. Going to try and get away here. This wall also buying him some time. He needs to retreat to the Sepoy army there. So yeah, bison coming out, but Turk's going to have to secure some food because he's used it all up over the course of this game. And if he has no food, that's going to stop him dead in the water. And Sompu's Sepoy mass is looking pretty healthy. 8 Gurkha coming out as well, now starting to diversify a bit. Gurkha going to be very strong against those bow riders.
Yeah. I'm feeling Sompu's really not out of this, actually. I was really worried for him after that fight, but after the ceasefire came in, I think he's definitely got something here to stand on. And those walls are really hindering Turk's movement around the map, which I feel is really a big part of the Sioux as well, the speed.
The speed.
Violence, speed, and momentum. From Turk here.
That sounds like the name of a Disturbed song.
No, it's just Dr. Disrespect's slogan.
But okay, I didn't know that. Clearly.
Clearly, yeah. I mean, we're not all nerds, but some Conky here going to be backing up towards his walls, trying to use those to his advantage.
Yeah, I
and,
guess doesn't want to hang around near.
Yeah, he's doing all right. He's doing all right.
Yeah.
Is the sump?
Food though is he's got the War Chief dance going. Cav now coming around the side. I don't know. I still think this is anyone's game, as long as Turk can keep the food up.
Yeah, I think it could be. I mean, it's going to get interesting when hunts start to run out, right? Like, Turk's already sent his 15 bison. He's got one hunt really left at the north.
Unless he aggressively takes these, but they'll be hard to get, right?
Right, exactly. And that's sort of Sompu's territory at the moment. He's definitely got a larger portion of the map and a bit more hunt left. So this could be where Sompu starts to, I don't know, I don't want to say come back or pull it back, but definitely an opportunity for him to
start taking a lead, perhaps. Like it does seem very even, doesn't it?
Yeah.
I'd like to check the graphs, but we can't do that. Oh well.
I'm sorry, I closed the game by mistake instead of clicking view map or whatever it was. But Turk aging, and I didn't think I'd be seeing that.
He's been in the fortress. Oh, Turk aging.
Yeah, Turk aging. Right now. I didn't think I'd be seeing that, but there it is.
Going with the wise woman for more bisons.
Yeah. Got to get those hunts.
Yeah, it seems like a good time to age, right? Like there's this big sort of stalemate going on, and because there's not much happening, maybe investing in tech is a good idea rather than just continually massing. Obviously, though, without the age up fast option, aging is always riskier, and it's not quite as good because you want to get up and start spending those fortress age shipments right away. But that's all he's got available to him. So I suppose it all balances out in the end. If you age faster colonial, you can't any other time. But yeah, it seems like a good move because lots of units, those upgrades are going to be very effective, aren't they?
Sure. And also, I think at the time that he's doing it is very sensible too, because he's, not under any pressure right now. He knows he's sort of got the upper hand with military, so, or at least numbers. And there you go. What's this?
Just checking the clan math. There's basically a smaller version of Eco Theory in here, 5% to everything.
The work ethos.
Yeah, there's a Huckleberry Festival, which maxes out at 30 minutes, so I think it's worth getting now, actually. It costs 300 resources and you get 800 food for it. So I think any time from now on it'll be strong. Obviously, the longer you leave it, the better.
Yeah.
But that is. But both players, I think, in this area are building, fortifying. There's a lot of hunt here.
Yeah,
so
right. And actually, quick question: is the other settlement the same? It's different. Oh, it's Navajo.
Navajo, which have that's a fishing upgrade, which is not relevant here.
Well, no, it's not just. Is it? It's from.
It's all gold. So it's
gold,
whales,
so
mines, plantations, etc. We've also got in there sheep raising skills, makes your animals fat and faster. And also for India, that would improve their XP, but there are no animals on this map unless you make them. And then finally, more hit points, although it doesn't say how many.
Interesting. It's quite a vague one. Normally
they're quite specific.
Stats very specific, yeah. But look at this, Turk now running in, and he's got upgrades now. Elite Seatam bow. He's got the upgrades on the cab, I believe, as well.
Yeah.
And now we've got the Mahouts coming in. This could be it. They're mashing their armies together. Look how quickly that Mahout went down, though. Jeez. And we've got a massive fight here. Sompu on the right, Turk on the left, and, well, Turk has to come out ahead, right? Surely.
Yeah, those Mahouts went down way fast. That's insane.
They did, indeed.
But
And whoa, Bastion!
Bastion's in, though,
I realized
so
we were playing Overwatch today, but off we go.
that's going to hold. So that's going to keep him out for a while, right? That's 400% hit points.
Whoa.
He's now got 4 layers of walls.
And he's got no siege.
Yeah, that's a prevailing theme with the Sioux, isn't it?
Good luck, bro. I feel like though Sompo is once again buying time. The walls look fantastic, though, don't they? They're really, really pretty.
Yeah, India walls are quite nice.
They are in AoE2 as well, actually. They've got the nicest walls, in my opinion.
Yeah, the best walls in Asia mythology are the Atlanteans, but I don't know why I'm bringing that up. I guess we're just comparing games at this point. But Turk, he's got food. Sompu does not. And that could be a big issue for India.
Yeah.
He's got a lot of wood and coin gathering, but not much else.
You can go into Mercs. There's always the opportunity to go into Mercs.
Yeah, he
not
could.
sent his 10 Tiger Claws. He only has, actually.
He has, but Mercs is a good point to
Yeah.
raise. He could build a monastery and start, which is what he's done,
gold.
actually. So we will see exactly
What have
that.
we got? I don't think we've got anything good in there, though.
Hackapel, Ninja are okay.
Okay. Capella, all right, aren't they?
They're very low HP. But so because of that, they get focused down quickly and don't perform all that well. Yeah, up in the north, trying to cause a distraction up here. It's worth pointing out that Turk, pardon me, Sompu will have his ceasefire again soon. I imagine that's recharged, but not going to call it just for the sake of these villages.
Yeah, right. I mean, he's so ahead in eco anyway. If they go down, it's not the end of the world. What he needs to figure out is a way to equalize on military. If he can do that, I think he could actually stay ahead because of that eco that he has. It's just so much better.
I think what he needs is a food source to be able to train eco, and he's now got that. But that's why he has fallen behind in military, right? Because he's had to make that switch to plantations. Whereas Turks, he shipped 15 bison.
He's got a lot of units there. Look at the pilgrims dancing too.
Yeah,
and they're going down. That's a lot of villagers in the firing range right there.
And they're very low HP. They don't have 400 HP like Sompu's do. Mind you, a couple of vills going down this side, but he's got walls to keep them out of the main area.
Yeah, I'm feeling Team Sompu right here. After that raid, like that.
Look at that eco pop. Holy
huge.
crap, that's insane.
Turk just loses his army once.
And he has gone for the Hackapels, which will be very strong. In fact, I think they one bang.
Oh, they do. Look at them
they
going down.
They got no melee resist. They do 121 damage.
Sompu with the one taps. Look at that.
Oh, they go down to 1 HP actually.
That's insane though.
But that's it. Well, they basically got double hit points now because Hackapel's leaving the units on 1 HP is not ideal.
No.
But
still, Sompu got to get those walls up quickly.
Yeah, and you can see the villagers scrambling.
Get to the walls. Yeah, I think he's got it as well. Oh man, Sompu here though. I mean, this is huge, right? Like 71 to 13. Kill the army one time. That's all he needs to do. He's tearing down the TC. Look at that.
Execution.
5 eco for Turk.
Yeah, I think his eco literally fell apart.
Wow, Sompu's really bought this game back.
I would
say back. Has he bought it back? I don't know.
I think you can say that. It's a very weird dynamic where your opponent has like a lot of military, a lot more military than you, and you're just trying to survive on very slathers of wood to throw down rice paddies.
That's the amazing thing about the rice paddy, right? It's that much cheaper. But I just want to add as well, it's not 5 eco to 71. Turk does have some pilgrims. They will be gathering as well, but it is extremely favored for Sompu here, economically.
Town centre going down
I
now.
mean, Sompu now can just go up to industrial and finish it out from there if he wanted to. I feel like that would be the safe play, perhaps.
I think this. I don't know. I feel like the safe play would be to keep massing, because if you go up to industrial, that's like 3,000 resources that isn't military. Because you clearly win this if you don't die. So I think his focus is obviously then not dying. And industrial age is maybe a risk that is not worth taking. And you can see here there's a lot of stuff still from Turk. He may have lost his eco.
It's a scary amount of stuff.
But he has good upgrades. Mustangs, Cav Combat, and indeed Cav HP there as well. These Sepoy, he's trying his best to micro them best he can, but they are ultimately going to go down. This is such a weird dynamic. Where is the rest of Sompu's military then? If I pan around the map, I don't see any more military. It's just these which are being killed. And he's got 48 military, so there must be something somewhere. Obviously,
the 25 are pilgrims, but it's obviously less than that now.
Yeah.
And then the Mahouts at home, but they will still die.
They're 7 each.
Yeah.
Yeah, and 3 Mahouts doesn't seem like it would stand up very easily against this. But this is all there is. There's nothing more coming, really. There's so few resources coming in for Turk. This is such a strange game, Zach.
Yeah. It really is. this is what I mean. Kill Turk's army once, but can you do that? This is the only game, like, in the Age franchise, I feel, where you can have no eco and still win the game.
Yeah. Well, it's the only game in the franchise that lets you get into this situation in the first place.
Right.
Like, shipments do change the game in a very, very wild way, especially in 1v1. In a team game, obviously, it resembles the rest of the franchise.
Again, a second ago there.
A lot more.
It's insane, right? But look at the Seaboy walking past. Like, oh, don't mind me, just passing. But no, they'll get cleaned up.
Yeah. Agrifort is for sure going to go down. But this is what's going on here. I'd like to see some walls across this side to protect that. He's got a nice rice paddies, a nice, well, farm. Do you call them that? Rice paddy farm? I guess they'd be called rice paddies.
Well, they're just paddies, aren't they?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So he's got a good number of them.
What's with all the racks? Is he just going full Seaboy now? Like, just...
It's Sompu, of course he's going. Of course he's going full Seaboy. This is what this man does.
I love it. I love it.
There's a foundation on top. I don't think that's going to get built though. Up there.
I want to glitch a villager up there. You can never lose.
That's true. Or a spy and put it stealth.
Oh god, imagine that. Just then go AFK, take a shower, go do
You can legitimately beat noobs like that because they don't realize their explorer is the only unit that can find you and find spies.
Well, don't give the chat any ideas.
Right, yeah, I just realized that came out of my mouth, and I was like,
yeah, I should have said that one. Oh well. Honestly, right now, this is so fascinating. Like, Sompu has to win this at some point. Like, what? He's just got to mass and then take the fight. But look, he's at 202 out of 200 pop. Like, he actually can't make any more.
Yeah, it's now... Yeah, Sompu's messed up then. It's now time to go back out and fight this army. Well, now he can make more.
Yeah, right. Not much, but a little bit.
Yeah, Pioneers...
Maybe this is the...
You're right about Pioneers. It really doesn't do very much in that situation, does it?
No.
But Bow Rider's still going to be very good against the Cav. Mahots are a strong unit, but they take 7 pop each. They're not very pop efficient at all. And as a result of that, I don't know if Sompu really has all that much army. And with all of these Wakina rifles and the Sitambo in the back, I think that Su is okay here.
Well, with your point about pop efficiency, I would argue that the number of, well, 1 unit for 7 pop, I don't necessarily think that means it's not efficient. It depends on its stats, right?
Right, it does for sure, but it's well known that elephants are not pop efficient.
Yeah. But still, I mean, this is interesting, right? Because IM Tech's slowly being whittled away, and Sompu just has to keep, like, he's only got so much military he can field at one time. So he has to just keep going in, lose his army, go in again, lose his army. Eventually he'll win.
Yeah.
Like, he will win.
I think he's okay. Yeah, like what you're saying. He's happy to just take these trades. They don't have to be good trades. He just needs to take trades and stall the game because at some point his eco... And you can see, just slamming down buildings now.
I love what Comet said in the chat. Comet K, watching these players make me feel like I could be PR40 too. It's a good feeling, isn't it?
That's funny.
Me and you both. Well, yeah, I guess he could rebuild this eco. I mean, but the thing is, the rate at which he could do that is he's diverting resources into building eco, whereas Sompu would just be spending them on military now from here on out.
You look at it as a win condition, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it's probably not possible for Turk to win now, I think, but
no, I think it's impossible.
His win condition was overwhelm my opponent before my lack of eco matters. And if you invest in your own eco, you're not going towards that win condition.
Oh, but he's found something quite spicy over here. Lots of rice paddies exposed. But there's the ceasefire, giving Sompu time to get his army over there. And maybe it should be called the meme fire, because it really is used quite... Oh, wow, what is this?
Yeah,
banging down some barracks.
Nice wall, yeah. You're not the first... castles. You're not the first person to suggest meme fire.
You can.
But yeah, that's going to be a wall, sort of. Ceasefire has ended.
And that's going to be Sompu again, trading off and probably winning. I don't know if he will.
Yeah, I think
he's got
this. There's so many Seaboy here, and he's just constantly remassing. Whereas this is it really for Turk, isn't it? There's not really any new units being added. Obviously a few, but his eco is just not comparable at all.
Wow, he really played that out.
And that was, I think, one of the highlights of this two-town tournament. Nearly, pardon me.
Last week.
Yeah, you're whoops. Of this pilgrim. GG coming out.
Last week. But But yeah, GG indeed.
What a series and what a game! We had the very first game in the series was this incredibly fast game, and this is kind of what I imagined from this format when we first thought it up.
Yeah.
Obviously didn't pan out like that, but at least we saw a really fascinating game. That was really, really enjoyable to watch.
I agree. It was really fun. And it was the longest game of the day, 27 minutes. Well played to Sompu. I think he just knew that he had to buy himself time. Lots of walling. Very different play style to what we've seen mostly from these players today.
Yeah.
And he will make it through to the grand finals, where he will play, I assume, against Kaiser, but I actually don't know.
We'll have to check.
Who made it through? Kaiser or Noose? It was Noose!
Oh my, wow!
It was Noose. Well played to Nushilbar. So it's Sampukonku, Nushilbar grand finals.
Do you know what that tells me?
Thank you, by the way, Esok, for the raiding party as well. But go ahead.
Yeah, 58. Thank you very much for coming to watch. The grand finals up next. That Nushilbar is prepared, because
Cool.
Kaiser Klein is, I think, a stronger Supremacy player. Nushilbar, very, very good, but I think trumped slightly by Kaiser. But the fact that he won 2-0, I think proves that Nushilbar has been practicing and is coming to this weird format prepared.
Yeah.
And it will be exciting to see two players that seem to be prepared,
Yeah, right.
who are of quite high caliber. So we do actually get to see, I think, a top-level game between top-level players who have prepared strategies.
Yeah.
So I think
cool.
that's going to be the pinnacle of the tournament here. And obviously it would be. It's the grand finals. But
Yeah, stay tuned. Grand final.
yeah, I think
Coming up
Sompu
next.
will give him a quick break